Hello, it is 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition for tonight's headlines. So we have the days to transform the future of healthcare in Africa. For the international scene, so the Crown Prince reserved at the White House. Welcome to our newsroom. It was this morning the Prime Minister Prime Minister Abdelkader Kamel Mohammed presided over the formal opening of the third edition of FARCAPS, a ceremony that reaffirms if proof were needed Djibouti's central role as a true crossroads for major continental gatherings dedicated to development. In an atmosphere both solemn and festive, the Prime Minister was warmly welcomed by the Minister of Health, surrounded by senior officials and key figures who embody the importance of this summit. Traditional dances accompanied his arrival, a reminder that deep cultural roots of the event and the country's legendary hospitality, a moment of celebrations that reflects the continent's collective commitment in the face of health challenges. The highlight of the morning followed, accompanied by the Minister of Health and the forum's organizers. Prime Minister Abdelkader Kamel Mohammed carried out meticulous guiding towers of the various exhibition stands set up within the palace grounds. Stands after stands, a true showcase of continental pharmaceutical excellence unfolded before him. Laboratories presented their latest therapeutic molecules, companies unveiled cutting-edge innovations, while manufacturers of medical equipment displayed the most recent technologies. At each stage, detailed explanations and practical demonstrations allowed the head of the government to fully appreciate the advances made and the opportunities ahead for the continent. From next-generation generic medicines to digital traceability solutions and including locally produced medical devices, this exhibition perfectly illustrates both the progress achieved and the work still to be done. Once his file visit was completed, Prime Minister Abdelkader Kamel Mohammed proceeded to the Campus Keys Grand Hall to open what promised to be one of the year's most pivotal gatherings, the third edition of the African Forum for Strengthening the Health Products Supply Chain, FARCAPS 2025, in a studious, almost solemn atmosphere. Experts, policymakers, industry leaders, representatives of international organizations, financial institutions and members of civil society converged around a simple yet fundamental question: how can the health products supply chain to be transformed into the true instrument of African health sovereignty? Under the leadership of a Prime Minister, this forum did not merely serve as a diplomatic showcase. It acted as a wake-up call. Discussions had dissected the flows of current systems, a chronic dependence on import and regional product capacity, still too timid, lack of readiness for future health crises, the urgent need to fully integrate the One Health approach, which links human and animal and environmental health. To this must be added another key player, CAM, whose structuring role in harmonizing procurement policies and pharmaceutical standards was widely praised. The forum stressed a now undeniable reality: health sovereignty. One of the most insistent messages of this edition is clear: Africa will not achieve pharmaceutical autonomy without a strong and sustained political commitment, nor without regional cooperation freed from its historical burden, said the Minister of Health.
C'est pour moi un privilège.
It is a privilege and a sincere honor for me to speak to you on behalf of the Ministry of Health at the close of this third edition of the African Forum on Strengthening Health Product Supply Chains, FARCAPS 2025. I want to express our deep gratitude to all of you for your strong commitment and the value of your contributions. Health product supply chains are the invisible but essential backbone of our health systems. As public health professionals, we know that even the best hospitals and the most skilled staff cannot succeed without a reliable, continuous, and high-quality supply of medicines, vaccines, consumables, and medical equipment. The consequences are serious: shortages of essential medicines, lack of vaccines, delays in patient care, losses due to preventable expiries, and high cost for emergency purchases. Djibouti sits at the crossroads of major maritime routes and at the gateway to East Africa. Our country has become a regional logistic hub of strategic importance. This geographic position gives us both opportunities and responsibilities. We have developed modern port and logistic infrastructure, and we are ready to use this strength to support better access to quality health products for our region.
The Prime Minister Abdelkader Kamel Mohammed said that African Forums for Strengthening the Health Product Supply Chain, FARCAPS 2025, marks a crucial step in Africa's journey.
Ce forum se tient à son heure.
This forum comes at the right moment and it carries a strong sense of urgency. Recent health crises, including COVID and Ebola, have shown how weak our health product supply systems are. We discover how dependent our countries are on fragile global supply chains and how often our continent must wait for vaccines and essential medicines. This situation is unacceptable. It reminds us of a simple truth: there is no political sovereignty without health sovereignty. Strong investment in our supply chains is not optional. It is essential to protect our nations and our people. Africa has almost 70% of the world's population and more than 23% of the global disease burden. Yet we produce only 2% of the medicines we use and hold less than 3% of the global pharmaceutical market. We must build a new era of African pharmaceutical resilience. We need a strong local industry that can meet our basic needs, especially for disease often ignored by major global companies such as tuberculosis and malaria. The solution is clear. Africa must produce more locally. We must invest not only in final packaging, but in the full production process. This means training pharmacists, biologists, engineers, and technicians. It also means creating regional pharmaceutical hubs. The African Continental Free Trade Area gives us a historic chance to build a unified market of 1.3 billion people. With this market, African production can become viable, competitive, and able to provide reliable access to quality health products.
At the conclusions of various interventions, 7 actors were recognized for their effort to build safer, more autonomous and sustainable supply chains, contributing to greater health sovereignty across the continent. This recognition aligns with the objectives of FARCAPS, the African Forum for Strengthening the Health Product Supply Chain. The honorees include the Republic of Djibouti, Professor Hawa Marie Coll Seck, former Minister of Health of Senegal, the Director General of CAM from Burkina Faso, as well as representatives from Benin, Cote d'Ivoire, and Madagascar. These actors, whether as countries, individuals, or institutions, have set an example by implementing efficient supply chain, coordinating and pooling procurement, particularly for essential medicines. A ministerial delegation led by Prime Minister Abdelkader Kamel Mohammed conducted an inspection today to review the progress of the PIRAT project, the project for extensions and rehabilitation of Djibouti sanitation network. The Prime Minister, accompanied by the Minister of Agriculture, the Minister of Communication, and the Director General of ONIAT, visited the site management by Vinci, the company responsible for project execution. The PIRAT project aims to connect several densely populated neighborhoods of the capital, including the neighborhood 5, 6, 7, 7 bis and Cité Stade, and the sanitation network. Wastewater is collected will be transferred to and treated to the new Douda treatment plant, and several kilometers of existing networks will be cleaned, financed by the EU IFT consortium. The project will directly benefit the 4,500 households, providing access to a functional sanitation system that meets the standards of modern city. During a presentation by Vinci Director General, the Prime Minister closely followed the project's progress and underscored its critical importance for Djibouti. Residents of the targeted neighborhoods have welcomed the project, which is expected to significantly improve their living conditions. On the sidelines of the participation of the Minister of Muslim Affairs and Waqf, Momin Hassan Barre, at the International Hajj Conference, and following the official signing of Hajj 2026 conventions, a health agreement was concluded with the medical care hospital. This agreement, aligned with the new Saudi directive, is aimed at strengthening medical oversight for pilgrims. Thanks to this agreement, the Djiboutian pilgrims will receive comprehensive medical care through the Hajj period. Dr. Halima Yusuf Aden, head of the Djiboutian medical team, was part of the delegation accompanying the minister, demonstrating the government's commitment to improving health services for pilgrims. She participated in a workshop covering a new medical requirement, contradictions, and safety standards before departures to the holy sites. During the workshop, it was emphasized that all pilgrims must undergo a full medical examination prior to registrations to ensure their safety and the smooth conduct of the pilgrimage. Authorities also stressed strict compliance with the fitness criteria for Hajj 2026, including the requirements for each pilgrimage to present an official medical certificate confirming the absence of several chronic illnesses, dementia-related conditions, and confirming the absence of several chronic. The delegation also visited the Refada company stand, a leading Saudi provider of integrated services, accommodations, transport, catering, and logistics in Mina, Arafat, Mecca, and Medina. An agreement was signed to ensure quality services for Djiboutian pilgrims during the 2026 season. In the file of air transport, the delegation met with Flynas officials, signing an agreement covering flights from Djibouti to Medina and the return from Jeddah to Djibouti after Hajj 2026. This ensures organized a punctual flights tailored to pilgrims' needs. In conclusion, Momin Hassan Barre's mission to Saudi Arabia was highly successful, achieving all objectives. The signing of the Hajj 2026 conventions, health, logistics, and air transport agreement, integrations of new Saudi requirements, and the strengthening of the historic partnership between Djibouti and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia regarding Hajj services. As part of the National Children Week, the Ministry of Women and Family organized a Creative Day at the Petit Douda Daycare Center. This initiative focused on awakening learning and artistic expression, offered young children the opportunity to participate in a variety of fun and educational activities, guided by actors and daycare staff. Children engaged in a drawing, painting, educational games, and singing workshop, simulating their creativity, the motor skills, and the sensory development. The event reflects the ministry's commitment to promoting children's well-being and growth, while raising awareness among families about the importance of a safe, inclusive, and stimulating learning environment. Daycare officials expressed their full satisfaction with the event, highlighting the children's enthusiasm. The continuing National Children's Week, the State High School hosted an important awareness session yesterday afternoon on the prevention and fight against sexual harassment. The event brought together authorities involved in this cause, including representatives from the Ministry of Women and Family, the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, and the UNFD. The initiative aims to inform students about different forms of harassment, their consequences, and prevention strategy. During the session, speakers emphasized the need to break the silence, encourage victims to speak out, and promote a safe, respectful, and inclusive school environment. Interactive discussions allowed with the students. The Ministry of Agriculture, Water, Fishery, Livestock, and Fishery Resources, through the Directorate of Rural Hydraulic, launched its series of regional consultation workshop today for the first time meeting held in Arta region. This event marks the operational phase of the Djibouti Groundwater Resilience and Supply project. Phase 2, financed by the World Bank. The Arta workshop brought together top regional authorities, including the prefect, the president of the regional council, and the director of the DHR, reflecting the state's commitment to securing access to drinking waters and water for livestock, are critical issues in the face of climate resilience challenges. Component 1 of the project focuses on major investment in groundwater infrastructure, including the constructions and rehabilitations of boreholes. At the heart of this consultation is the ministry's co-constructing approach. Technical discussions gathered today allow participants to identify water infrastructure needs for rehabilitation. The director responsible for overseeing this mission provided detailed remarks on the initiative, highlighting its objectives, the strategy being implemented, and the expected impact on the communities involved with it. He emphasized the importance of coordinating efforts, stakeholders' engagement, and the long-term benefits that the initiative aims to deliver. For his part, the prefect of Arta, Hassan Dabali Ahmed, addressed the initiative, underlining its significance for the regions and the community it serves. He elaborated a local priority and the collaborative approach with regional authorities and expected positive outcomes in terms of water access, infrastructure improvement, and community resilience. He also stressed the importance of active participation from all stakeholders to ensure the initiative's long-term success. As part of the ongoing effort to monitor prices and stock levels, inspectors from the Ministry of Commerce and Tourism conducted a data collection operation yesterday morning in Dakhel region. This project is funded by the World Bank under the emergency response programs to the food crisis. Its main objective is to assess stock management practices and verify compliance with the officially approved pricing. The inspectors met with the managers of a storage and distribution facility in the regions and inspected essential goods. For the regional scene, Kenya strengthens digital security with updated national strategy and training initiative. Listen for more details. Kenya strengthens its digital security with an updated national strategy and initiative to train 1 million specialists. The Kenyan government has announced the strengthening of its national cybersecurity strategy through a series of measures aimed at protecting the digital space and supporting the growth of its digital economy. The announcement was made during Cyber Week Africa 2025, where the Secretary of State for Information Technology and Digital Economy, John Kipchamba Tanui, confirming that the country is deploying an ambitious national plan to raise the level of digital security within public institutions and critical sectors. The updated strategy includes the creation of National Cybersecurity Agency tasked with the coordinating security effort, monitoring digital threats, and establishing a National Security Operations Center to support essential sectors such as defense, energy, health, and utilities. Similarly, Kenya has launched the Code Nation initiative, which aims to train 1 million specialists in software development, cybersecurity, and data sciences over the next few years. This initiative seeks to develop local skills capable of addressing emerging digital challenges and driving technological innovation. The new strategy is based on 6 main pillars, including strengthening the legal and regulatory framework, protecting critical information infrastructure, Diplomatic strategy. Mohammed bin Salman meets Donald Trump at the White House.
Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman was welcomed today at the White House by U.S. President Donald Trump for an official visit aimed at strengthening cooperation between the two countries and opening new avenues for partnership. Upon his arrival, the Crown Prince was greeted warmly by senior U.S. officials before heading to the Oval Office for a bilateral meeting with President Trump. The talks took place in a positive and constructive atmosphere, reflecting a clear desire to deepen the long-standing ties between Riyadh and Washington. According to sources close to the meeting, discussion focused on expanding economic cooperation, joint investment projects, and growing opportunities in the technology, energy, and infrastructure sectors. Both leaders highlighted the importance of broadening partnership to support innovation, foster economic growth, and encourage long-term development initiatives. They also addressed strategic cooperation, emphasizing the need for continued dialogue, coordination, and stronger institutional ties to support regional stability and prosperity.
Major Cloudflare outage disrupts access to X and ChatGPT. Outage at Cloudflare disrupt access to X and ChatGPT. A technical outage and internet infrastructure provider Cloudflare caused a major disruptions to access to several global websites, including X and ChatGPT, on Tuesday, affecting thousands of users. According to initial information released by the company, the incident was not due to a cyber attack, but rather an internal malfunctions in one of its systems responsible for managing web traffic. The outage resulted in error messages and made it difficult or even impossible to access services relying on Cloudflare's infrastructure. The first disruptions were detected late in the morning when the outage monitoring platform Down Detector recorded a spike in reports exceeding several thousands before the situation gradually began to stabilize. Cloudflare has indicated that it has deployed a patch to restore services and stated that the majority of affected platforms are now operational again, while specifying that some users may still experience occasional slowdowns. This incident highlights the growing dependence on the internet on a small number of essential players in the digital infrastructure whose proper function determined access to a wide range of online services worldwide. And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.